It's been 52 years since American Graffiti took audiences on a nostalgic ride through the early 60s, capturing the excitement of youth and the uncertainty of the future. The film not only became a cult classic but also helped launch the careers of several Hollywood legends. But what happened to the cast after all these years? While stars like Harrison Ford and Ron Howard went on to achieve massive success, others took different paths, faced personal struggles, or tragically passed away. In this video, we take a look at the lives of the American Graffiti cast and where they are now in 2025. Cindy Williams portrayed Lori, Steve's girlfriend, in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 26. Lori's character was sweet, loyal, and caught between the carefree days of youth and the impending responsibilities of adulthood. Williams' career after American Graffiti saw her flourish with her role in Laverne and Shirley, but it was marred by a series of personal and professional challenges. Despite her success on television, she struggled with typecasting, leaving her career stagnating for a time. In 1976, Williams married Bill Hudson, but their marriage ended in a bitter divorce in 1982. She had 2 children, but her relationships remained strained, and her financial troubles were compounded by the breakdown of her career. Williams faced health issues in her later years, making her retreat from the public eye. She passed away on January 25, 2023, at 75, her years of fame fading into the background of the Hollywood machine. Bo Hopkins, who played Joe, the tough and rebellious leader of the Pharaohs gang, was 35 years old when he began filming American Graffiti, 1973. His role as the defiant gang leader mirrored the tumultuous nature of his own life. After American Graffiti, Hopkins' career saw several successful roles in films like The Wild Bunch and Midnight Express, but his life behind the scenes was filled with personal struggles. Married twice, his relationships were strained, and his emotional health suffered from the pressures of maintaining his Hollywood career. Despite his professional success, Hopkins was plagued by self-doubt, personal isolation, and a growing disconnect with his peers. These struggles never fully surfaced publicly, as he maintained a career but never quite reached the fame or success he deserved. He passed away on May 28, 2022, at 84, his life marked by hidden pain and personal sacrifice, leaving behind a legacy that was more complex than many realized. Wolfman Jack, the charismatic disc jockey in American Graffiti, 1973, played by the legendary broadcaster, was 35 when filming began. His booming voice, free spirit, and rebellious energy were central to the nostalgic atmosphere of the film. Behind the mic, however, Wolfman Jack's life was a whirlwind of turmoil. He achieved great fame as a radio personality, but his personal life was clouded by his battle with alcohol and strained relationships. His marriage to his wife, Lou, was one of his few stabilizing forces, but his struggle with substance abuse and the isolation of his celebrity left him emotionally drained. Despite his success, Jack's life was often marked by feelings of loneliness and regret. He died suddenly of a heart attack on July 1, 1995 at the age of 57, leaving behind a legacy of radio greatness but also a reminder of the pressures of fame and the human struggles that can accompany it. Del Close played the man at the bar in American Graffiti in 1973 at the age of 39. His character is mysterious and adds a layer of intrigue to the film, perfectly fitting into the eclectic mix of characters. Close, a talented improv artist, faced a tumultuous career path, full of near misses and unfulfilled promises. He struggled with alcohol addiction, which deeply affected both his career and personal life. His first marriage ended in divorce, and the death of his second wife led to a period of severe depression, making it difficult for him to reconnect with his peers and pursue a more prominent role in the entertainment industry. Despite his profound influence on comedy, Close's personal struggles and isolation kept him from experiencing the level of success he deserved. In 1999, Close passed away from emphysema at the age of 64, leaving behind a legacy of immense talent marred by personal demons and lost opportunities. Manuel Padilla Jr., who portrayed Carlos, a mischievous member of the Pharaoh's gang in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 18, never quite achieved the level of fame many expected after the film. Though he showed immense promise, Padilla's career faltered after American Graffiti, and he struggled with his personal demons. Known for his light-hearted and playful portrayal of Carlos, Padilla's own life was far from easy. He became embroiled in substance abuse and had difficulty maintaining relationships. His struggles were compounded by the lack of significant roles in Hollywood after his early success, leading him to a life that seemed to slowly fade away. At 52, Padilla passed away on January 29, 2008 from natural causes, a tragic end to a promising career. His untimely death was a harsh reminder of the fleeting nature of fame and the toll it can take on an individual, particularly when that person is unable to navigate the complexities of life in the shadow of early success. Lynn Marie Stewart portrayed Bobby in American Graffiti in 1973 at the age of 27. Bobby is a lively, fun-loving character, embodying the youthful energy of the film's nostalgic setting. Stewart, despite being talented, never reached the heights she anticipated in Hollywood, largely remaining in television and smaller roles. Her personal life was complicated, with 2 failed marriages. Her first marriage ended in infidelity, and her second was marred by emotional abuse, leading her to a deep sense of personal frustration. Career-wise, she struggled to find substantial work, and her journey through Hollywood was often overshadowed by a lack of recognition. She passed away on February 21, 2025, at 78, reflecting on her career with a bittersweet perspective, grappling with health issues, and coming to terms with the opportunities that slipped through her fingers, both professionally and personally. Jim Bohan, who played Hallstein in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 27, was part of the Pharaoh's gang, adding his own brand of toughness and loyalty to the role. After American Graffiti, Bohan's career never reached the heights of some of his co-stars, and his personal life was filled with misfortune. He went through multiple failed marriages, each one ending in heartbreak and emotional toll. Despite his early role in such a beloved film, Bohan's life was marked by health struggles and an inability to break free from the shadow of his early success. By the time of his death January 29, 1998 at the age of 52, Bohan had withdrawn from acting, living a quiet life out of the spotlight. His passing from natural causes went largely unnoticed by the public, yet it was a poignant reminder of how quickly fame can fade, leaving behind personal battles and regret. His role as Hallstein in American Graffiti remains a key part of his legacy, though overshadowed by the difficulties he faced later in life. Paul Lambert played the sleeping police officer in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 51, delivering a brief but memorable performance that added humor and a sense of laid-back charm to the film. The character, though relatively minor, embodied a relaxed, almost comical figure within the larger context of the film's vibrant 1960s youth culture. Unfortunately, after American Graffiti, Paul's career saw little progression, and he found himself largely forgotten by Hollywood. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles, as he endured a rocky marriage that ultimately ended in divorce. He was unable to maintain stable relationships, and the emotional toll of these personal failures affected his health. His life took a tragic turn when he was diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away on April 27, 1997, at the age of 74. Though his legacy in American Graffiti was small, it was one of the few bright spots in a life marked by personal and professional disappointment. Deborah Lee Scott played Bob Falfa's girl in American Graffiti in 1973 at the age of 20. Her character is adventurous and supportive, adding to the romantic subplot of the film. However, Scott's personal life was filled with turbulent relationships, most notably a brief marriage to actor Tom Villard, which ended in divorce after only a few years. Throughout her career, Scott faced difficulties finding substantial roles in Hollywood, and her life was marked by substance abuse and personal dissatisfaction. Professionally, she had some success in television but never achieved the lasting fame she had hoped for. Her personal struggles, combined with a lack of fulfilling roles, led to a decline in her career. Scott passed away in 2005 at the age of 52, from natural causes, a life marked by potential that was never fully realized, overshadowed by personal battles and unfulfilled dreams. Suzanne Summers played the blonde in T-Bird in American Graffiti in 1973 at the age of 27. Her character, mysterious and alluring, was a symbol of youthful charm and the unpredictable nature of relationships in the film. Summers went on to greater fame in Three's Company, but her career was fraught with struggles over salary disputes and disagreements with producers. Her personal life was equally difficult, with a first marriage that ended in divorce and years of unsuccessful attempts to conceive children, which strained her second marriage. After leaving Three's Company due to a contract dispute, Summers faced a career downturn, unable to reclaim her former glory. She passed away on October 15, 2023, at 76. In 2025, at 78. Her career, once full of promise, now feels like a bittersweet memory of a time when fame came with a heavy price. Richard Dreyfuss played Kurt, one of the main characters in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 26. His portrayal of Kurt, a young man on a journey of self-discovery, captured the spirit of adolescence and the search for meaning in a rapidly changing world. While the film launched him into stardom, Dreyfuss's career was filled with highs and lows. Although he won an Academy Award for The Goodbye Girl, 1977, and had a successful career in the 1970s and 1980s, his personal struggles often overshadowed his professional achievements. He battled with alcoholism, and his personal relationships suffered as a result. Dreyfuss's first marriage ended in divorce, and he faced difficulties in maintaining stable relationships. His turbulent personal life and struggles with addiction were well documented, and the toll these took on him was immense. Today, at 77 years old in 2025, Dreyfuss has found some stability, but his life continues to be a mix of reflection on the fame he once enjoyed and the struggles that followed. Harrison Ford portrayed Bob Falfa, the competitive drag racer, in American Graffiti in 1973 when he was 31 years old. Bob's character is confident, cocky, and acts as a direct rival to John Milner in the race scenes, showing off a daring, almost reckless attitude. This role was a stepping stone in Ford's career, though he would face many years of struggling for bigger roles before Star Wars launched him to stardom. Ford's personal life, however, has been marred by heartbreak. His first marriage to Mary Marquardt ended in 1979 after 15 years, largely due to his intense work schedule and rumored infidelities. Later, his second marriage to Melissa Matheson ended in 2004 after a long separation, leaving Ford emotionally drained. He had a difficult relationship with his children from both marriages, and his emotional struggles were often overshadowed by his public persona. By 2025, at 82, Ford is still working occasionally but has retreated from the public eye. Ron Howard played Steve in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 19. Steve was a charming and responsible character, torn between his adventurous nature and commitment to Lori. After the success of the film, Howard struggled with being typecast as the wholesome, boy-next-door type. Despite his initial success in acting, his career hit a rough patch as he sought more diverse roles but was often overlooked. Howard's personal life was equally tumultuous. He married his childhood sweetheart, but the pressures of his career led to the demise of their relationship, leaving him heartbroken and disillusioned. As time went on, Howard shifted his focus to directing, where he found success with films like Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind. At 71, Howard continues to direct but is constantly reminded of the sacrifices he made for fame and the family life he lost in the process. Mackenzie Phillips played Carol, the young girl tagging along with John, in American Graffiti, 1973, at just 14 years old. Carol was the picture of youthful innocence, full of curiosity and excitement, but Phillips' own life would soon take a darker turn. After American Graffiti, she battled severe addiction and a tumultuous relationship with her father, a story she later shared publicly. The revelation of the abusive relationship with her father shattered her personal and professional life, leaving her vulnerable to public scrutiny. Phillips faced multiple failed marriages, further straining her emotional well-being. Her struggles with addiction and her complicated past led to a prolonged period of isolation. At 65, she is still recovering from the trauma of her earlier years and continues to work on her sobriety. While she has made strides in healing, the emotional scars of her past remain a heavy weight on her life, casting a long shadow over her early promise. Paul Le Mat portrayed John, the confident and rebellious drag racer, in American Graffiti, 1973, at 28. Le Mat's portrayal of John embodied youthful defiance and the spirit of rebellion, but his career never matched the potential his performance suggested. After the film's success, he struggled to find meaningful roles, often being typecast as the cool, rebellious guy, and his career fell into obscurity. His personal life was filled with emotional struggles. Le Mat faced 2 tumultuous marriages, both ending in painful divorces. He also battled with addiction and mental health issues, which further complicated his life. Despite brief comebacks in films like The Happy Hooker Goes to Washington, Le Mat's career remained lackluster, leaving him with a sense of regret over the opportunities he failed to capitalize on. Now 79, Le Mat lives quietly, often reflecting on the promises of youth and the dreams that faded too soon, far removed from the fame he once knew. Candy Clark played Debbie, Terry's love interest, in American Graffiti, 1973, at 26. Debbie's character brought a sense of adventure and romance to the film, but Clark's career quickly fizzled after the initial success. Despite her early breakout role, Clark was unable to find meaningful work, and her attempts at securing lead roles often fell short. On a personal level, she faced a series of rocky relationships, with 2 marriages ending in divorce. She also struggled with addiction, which greatly impacted both her personal and professional life. Though she managed to regain some attention in films like The Man Who Fell to Earth and The Big Sleep, her career never reached the heights of American Graffiti. At 77, Clark lives quietly, far from the Hollywood spotlight, reflecting on what might have been while coping with the toll her turbulent personal life has taken. The sense of unfulfilled potential and emotional scars remains a significant part of her journey. Charles Martin Smith, who played Terry, the eager-to-impress teenager, in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 20, found himself both personally and professionally struggling after the film's success. Terry's character, full of awkward charm and desire for acceptance, mirrored Smith's own battle for self-identity in a world that had typecast him. Following American Graffiti, Smith's career failed to take off in a significant way, and he found himself relegated to secondary roles. His personal life was no less challenging. After a short-lived marriage, he faced years of loneliness and depression, often grappling with the harsh realities of being an actor in an industry that quickly forgets those who are no longer at the top. Smith's emotional turmoil and professional stagnation led him to retreat from Hollywood, and by 71, he lives in relative seclusion, haunted by the opportunities he missed and the personal battles he fought in silence. Terrence McGovern portrayed Mr. Wolf, the authoritative teacher, in American Graffiti in 1973 when he was 31 years old. Mr. Wolf's character brings a sense of order and control to the otherwise chaotic world of high school students navigating their adolescent years. McGovern's career after the film was not as successful as some of his peers, and he found himself in a series of lesser-known roles. His personal life was plagued by misfortune, including a difficult marriage to actress Karen McGovern, which ended in divorce. McGovern's career struggles, compounded by emotional distress, led to a period of isolation. His declining mental health and the breakdown of his personal life led him to battle depression, and he struggled to maintain relationships, both professional and personal. By 2025, at 82, McGovern's acting career is largely behind him, and he lives in seclusion, wrestling with the ghosts of what could have been, often reflecting on his unfulfilled potential. Joe Spano, at 27, portrayed Vic in American Graffiti, 1973, a character defined by charm and sociability, embodying the energetic spirit of the teenage years captured in the film. After American Graffiti, Spano found a steady career in television and film, but he was never able to rise to major stardom. His personal life, however, was plagued by a series of difficulties. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his battle with alcoholism created a rift between him and his loved ones. The most significant tragedy of Spano's life came when his only child fell seriously ill and tragically passed away after a prolonged battle with disease. This heartbreaking loss led Spano into a spiral of grief and self-destructive behavior. Though he continued to work in the industry, the emotional toll of his personal struggles took precedence over his career. At 78 in 2025, Spano lives a more secluded life, grappling with the deep sadness of his lost loved ones. Kathleen Quinlan portrayed Peg, one of the girls at the dance in American Graffiti in 1973 when she was just 19 years old. Peg is youthful, energetic, and a fun-loving character who captures the spirit of the era. Despite her early success, Quinlan's career did not live up to expectations. She became typecast in similar roles, and though she worked steadily, she never achieved the level of fame she hoped for. Quinlan's personal life also faced hardships. She married actor Michael Quinlan, but the relationship was strained, and they divorced after several years, with both struggling to find balance between their careers and family life. Quinlan's emotional well-being was deeply affected by her failed marriage, leading her to question her worth in Hollywood. By 2025, at 70, Quinlan has had a quieter career, occasionally returning to acting but often reflecting on the opportunities she missed and the relationships that fell apart, leaving her with a sense of what might have been. Kay Lenz, who played Jane, credited as Kay in Kemper, in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 20, brought to life a fun-loving and adventurous character. After the success of American Graffiti, Lenz experienced fleeting fame, appearing in a variety of television roles. However, her personal life proved to be a series of emotional setbacks. Her marriage to David Cassidy, a heartthrob of the time, ended in divorce, leaving Lenz devastated and heartbroken. Soon after, she faced the unbearable loss of her mother to cancer, further adding to the emotional toll she was already dealing with. While Lenz tried to continue her career, the constant pain from these personal tragedies hindered her professional life. Despite a few roles in the following decades, she was never able to recapture the success she had hoped for. At 72 years old in 2025, Lenz has retreated from the public eye, finding solace in a quieter life. Susan Richardson played Judy in American Graffiti, 1973, at the age of 21. Judy is a lively, outgoing girl, embodying the spirit of youthful exuberance that the film captures so well. Richardson's post-American Graffiti career was marked by fleeting moments of success, but the highs were overshadowed by deep personal struggles. Her first marriage ended in divorce after a tumultuous relationship, and her second marriage saw her husband tragically succumb to cancer shortly after their wedding. This loss, coupled with the pressures of maintaining her public image, led Richardson into a period of depression and isolation. Though her acting career dwindled in the face of these hardships, she continued to make occasional appearances. At 73 in 2025, Richardson now leads a quiet life away from the spotlight, dealing with the emotional scars left by love lost and career unfulfilled. Her life, while not without accomplishments, remains tinged with the sadness of what could have been. Who is your favorite character from American Graffiti? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.